Welcome and welcome back to my channel, The Almost Organized Owl, where we are on a journey to get organized in our finances. Today's video is all about our non-mortgage debt. So currently, we are a family of 6, and we have accrued some debt that we are on a journey to get rid of. We will be free from the shackles of this debt. And so our goal is to try to tackle this debt the best way we can. I'm not quite sure how exactly, but at some point we will be able to get rid of this debt. So let's jump right into it. The first debt item that I have listed here is our children's medical bill. And we just received this bill a few days ago. Unfortunately, my daughter got extremely sick, and she had upper respiratory issues. And we are a 1-car family, and my husband was out of the house, and I needed to take her to emergency. So we had to call an ambulance, and they came and they took her to the emergency. Thank God that she is okay. We just discovered that she has asthma, and because she had a cold, it triggered her asthma. And our insurance covered up to a point, and then this is the remaining balance that we have to pay. The next debt that we have is the orthodontist. This bill is $840, and we have to pay 4 braces. The next step that we have is the ambulance fee. So like I mentioned before, the cost of transporting my daughter to the emergency room was quite high, and our insurance paid a portion of it, or a good chunk of it rather. And this is the remaining balance. $1,904 is what we currently owe to the ambulance company for transporting our daughter. The next debt that we owe is our past due HOA fees. So if you've watched any prior videos of mine, you will have seen me stuffing an envelope for HOA, and that is to try to pay down our past due HOA fees. I was laid off from work shortly after the pandemic, and our HOA fees just began to grow. And then I was working from home for a time, and we were able to pay those down. However, then a family member became ill and needed full-time care. So my mother-in-law, who was caring for our children at the time, had to go and tend to this family member, which left us without childcare. And if there are any parents out there who are listening, you could identify with the fact that childcare is very expensive, and it was just more cost effective for me to work, for me to not work and to care for the children full time, than for us to pay for childcare and me go back to work. Essentially, me working would literally just pay for childcare, and it just wasn't worth it. And as a result, these fees have accrued, and we have to pay them off. So we're going to work on that. The next debt that we have is our first student loan, which is my student loan. And as a first-time college student, honestly, I had teachers, one teacher in particular in high school, who was, he was excited that I was accepted into college. But one of the first questions that he asked was, how are you going to pay for it? And at the time, it was just, a common thing to just take out a student loan. I mean, it's what they're there for. It's great. It allows you to be able to go to college, and you'll just, pay it back when you get that good government job. and and no worries. However, after graduating, I did not get that good government job, and I did get a job, but it just wasn't paying as much as I would have hoped at the time. And I was able to pay on my student loans, but essentially the minimum payment, or slightly above the minimum payment, is only really paying on interest and very little on the principal. And so then I went back to school and took out more student loans, while my other loans were in deferment, and the interest just was constantly accruing, and here we are. So unfortunately, that is only the first student loan. The next debt that we have, and I failed to mention that I've listed these balances based on the smallest balance first and the largest balance last, in hopes to pay off using the debt snowball method, kind of mixed in with the avalanche method. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with that. I'm guessing you are. If you are in the budgeting community, the snowball method is you pay off the smallest balance first, and then you roll over that payment to your next debt. The avalanche method is you pay off the highest interest first, and then work your way down through the highest interest instead of the lowest balance. And in our case, the highest interest that we have is the Bank of America credit card. And it is currently at 24.24% interest. I know it's horrible. With a minimum payment of about $275, that fluctuates based on how much we're able to put on the balance. With the balance of $9,281.40. There was a point in time, honestly, you guys, where we had this credit card paid down to $0. And then, things happen, and you just say, hey, put it on the credit card, we'll pay it off later. Or, we're anticipating some additional funds coming in, and we'll put it towards the credit card to catch that balance. And those additional funds end up getting eaten up by something else. We took a trip to Disney World, and, the great idea was to pay for the trip on the credit card because it'll help to accumulate the points, and then you can use the points to pay for other things. And it just snowballed completely out of control, especially when I was unable to work, and that additional income was no longer there to help us pay off that credit card. Then the interest just accumulates and accrues, rather, and it just kind of goes from there. I mean, you all know the story. It is a mess. But we desire to get rid of this high interest credit card at some point, somehow. And that is that. I mean, this is not the first credit card that we had. The first credit card that we got was in college. And I don't know if anybody remembers the whole credit card thing. You sign up for a credit card freshman year and you get a t-shirt. And that is what we both did. We signed up for credit cards, and little did we know that, that t-shirt was definitely not worth the headache of that credit card. But we got rid of those credit cards. We paid them off, and we got rid of them. And we said that we were not going to go down that road again. And then after we got married, then this Bank of America credit card just seemed, you should have a credit card in case of an emergency, or you need a credit card to rent a car or to buy your flights. So we ended up getting this credit card, and here we are with that. So the next debt that we have is our car loan, and we took out a car loan at 3.25% interest, minimum monthly payment of $471.46. And this has a balance of $11,328.36. Hopefully we'll be able to go ahead and pay this off. We have quite some time before we'll be able to do that, but it's through our credit union. So we're able to kind of do auto draft for that. The next debt that we have is another student loan. This is another one of my student loans that is currently sitting at 6.8% interest with a minimum payment of $323.87 and a balance of $40,085.03. Again, that is due to both my undergrad and graduate degrees. And that is what that is there for. Our next debt here is my final student loan, and my final student loan is sitting at 6.8% interest also, with a minimum payment of $52.61 and a balance of $65,621.87. And that concludes my student loan debt. Yes. I tell you, that is something to see it all written out that way, but that is what that is. The final debt that we owe is my husband's student loan. And right now, I don't know what the interest is because his student loan is currently in forbearance because he is beginning his doctoral program, and which, thank God, is being paid for by his employer. So no more student loans for that. And that balance is $121,517. And unfortunately, fortunately, he was able to consolidate all of his student loans. I don't know. Some people have mixed feelings about consolidation, but he was able to consolidate all of his student loans for undergrad and grad school to this one payment. I have not consolidated my student loans. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I don't know. I've heard mixed things regarding consolidation. So the grand wretched total of our student loan, of our debt is currently sitting at $256,961.92. So nearly $257,000 in debt. And this is non-mortgage debt. This does not include our mortgage. This is a very daunting number to look at. What is the plan to get out of this non-mortgage debt? Honestly, a wing and a prayer. I mean, a miracle from on high. Hard work and grit. I mean, I'm not quite sure. This seems absolutely astronomical in my opinion. And I know there are probably people out there who have had larger debt amounts, and but this is significant for us. You know, we still have 4 young children, and we would like to not have to pay off our student loan debt while we're trying to send our children to college. One of the goals that we have is to be able to fully fund our children going to college debt-free, whether that be through scholarships that we help them to find, or we save up enough money in their 529 plans to be able to make sure that they go to school debt-free. But we certainly do not want them to have to start off in life with this kind of debt behind their names. And I was listening to Michelle on a Mission, and she said to just rip it off, rip off the rear view mirror. And honestly, looking at this, um, I am singing my shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You know, I should not have gotten these loans. I should not have gotten that credit card. We should have tried to figure out something else, you know, in terms of the debt that we have. However, we are here now. And we have to kind of face the music and try our best to deal with it and work out a plan to pay it off as best we can, as quickly as we can, which is really tough to do when you are on one income and you're used to having two incomes. And so you have to adjust the budget down to just basically pay the bills. And in addition to paying off debt. So we are praying that we're able to do it. And that's one of the primary reasons why I started this channel, was to be accountable for maintaining a budget so that we can stick to it and not slip back into old habits and pull out that credit card again. And that we can just be financially organized enough to not be able to get into this again. It is quite challenging and difficult not to slip back into old habits. Like I was watching Michelle on the Mission again, and she mentioned that sometimes it's just muscle memory that causes you to slip back into your old habit of doing something, your old way of looking at things. And I'm just hoping that being accountable to you all who are watching this journey and following this journey with me will hopefully keep me disciplined enough to not slip back into those old habits and to not rely on the things that we relied on before that got us into this mess that we're in now. And so I thank you all so very much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. And I hope that you all can like and subscribe, comment in the comment section. I greatly appreciate the comments, and I love chatting with you guys about the things that we are discussing in terms of budget. I am so appreciative, again, of this budgeting community, the tips and tricks and the things that I am learning. I am just so very grateful. Until next time, thank you for watching. Bye.